I think it's very good for team morale is one of the first things. I mean, some of the activities we did here today were very good in terms of, the dependency on each other to get something done. But I think more importantly was to just understand from professional sport the kind of things that are really important to perform at the really top level of sport. And I mean, you don't get any higher than Formula One racing. And I think some of the things that jumped out at me was the attention to detail and the little things that make such a big difference, and it's all those little things that add up. So I think we probably picked up a lot of stuff today that maybe you wouldn't have considered that could be so important to top performance, but really is, even for people at the very top level. The guy who's working in here who can give you 0.4 of a second on a lap is going to make a difference, and it's the same with ourselves. Okay, it's a much smaller scale, but I suppose around this squad we've 50 people, supporting the whole thing with management, county board people, and even sponsors, and everyone can make their own little contribution, and that hopefully will make the difference in the end. I think it's critical to try and get that edge. I mean, there's very little between the top teams in any sport, and I think if you can get something from another sport, you'd be crazy not to take advantage of it. And I suppose that's where having somebody like Vodafone sponsoring us brings us maybe a bit of an advantage, that be able to be brought to a place like this, it really is exceptional. Well, we're only just back at it now, and after the league, and the lads were playing club championship, so today is really only our second day back, but we'd be happy enough with where we're at this stage this year. I think that's just the reality of it, is that you probably tend to be a bit more critical and focus in on what you could improve more when you lose than when you win. It shouldn't be the case, but I think it's the way of life. So we've been doing a lot of learning over the last couple of weeks, and looking forward to putting things right during the summer. The big things that you can take nothing for granted until the final whistle is blown. Some of the games we finished 1 point ahead, and we finished 1 point behind and ended up with nothing effectively out of the league except learning experience, and we want to win something now, so we've got to learn to do that. I have to say it's been a noticeable change. I mean, previous sponsors were good, but this has been really different. Vodafone are being far more than just a sponsor to what maybe Dublin were used to. They really are in to make a difference, to try and get the team to be performing at its absolute best, and just some of the things that they've done. Here's an example of it, but there's many other examples of where they really are trying to help us get an edge on other teams. I mean, this is totally different to what anybody else can do, and I have to say, since they came in, we've had a noticeable difference, and hopefully we can repay that now by this should be a virtuous circle, that when you get the opportunities, then we should perform. And I have to say it's becoming a more important part of sport, and I think if you can get a sponsor who does more than just be a sponsor that puts a logo there, well, I think we're very lucky, and I know from the county board perspective, and even from the players' perspective, we're really grateful of the sponsorship.